Harbor Freight, a place millions of Americans trust to visit before a storm arrives. Cheap, many options. It feels like buying a few of these items will be enough. But the question is it truly okay? Or just a feeling of being okay? There are items at Harbor Freight that are worth every penny, especially when you know exactly what you're buying them for. But there are also dishes that are born primarily to look disaster-ready until disaster actually strikes. We've become too accustomed to advertising that promises tactical, survival, heavy-duty. It sounds very pleasing to the ear. But in a storm, marketing can't turn on the lights, keep the refrigerator cold, or clear the fallen tree blocking your front door. We are making this video not to criticize Harbor Freight. It's not meant to be flattering either. The sole objective is to point out what's truly worth the money when a hurricane hits and what looks cool but will only make you regret it when the power goes out. If you hate being misled by advertising, you definitely need to watch this video to the end. If I'm being honest, there's not much that's important during a storm. You can lack many things and still survive, but there were a few things missing, and things started to go bad very quickly. And at the top of that list is always electricity. 1. Generator predator, the king who doesn't need PR. I'll be blunt, a storm won't disconnect you immediately, but a prolonged power outage could. No electricity means the refrigerator starts to warm up, food spoils, no heating in winter, no fans in summer, phones, radios, everything starts to gradually disappear. So if you ask, of all the storm gear, what's the most worthwhile to spend money on? The answer is very simple. What generates electricity? Harbor Freight's Predator generators aren't sleek or collector's items, but its strength is it does its job. Power ranges from approximately 2,500 watts to over 11,000 watts. While the numbers might be difficult to understand, here's an easier way to visualize it. Small size, enough to run a refrigerator, a few lights, and charge a phone. Mid-range, add a heater or portable air conditioner. For the large type, almost the entire house is still operating at a reduced capacity. People often compare Predator to Honda. And yes, Honda is better, smoother, more durable, and with a more beautiful finish. But the problem is, Honda is 1.5 times, even twice as expensive. What about Predator? Not perfect, but good enough. Not fancy, but it runs. And in a storm, getting away is more important than looking good. It's no coincidence that Predator is widely used by campers, RV enthusiasts, and off-grid living communities. It's not because it's cheap, but because it doesn't betray them when they need it. If you were only going to buy one expensive item to prepare for a hurricane, honestly, buy something that generates electricity. Everything else is just accessories revolving around it. But wait, buying a generator without suitable electrical cables is like having a full gas tank, but no fuel line. So don't forget to buy it with your next dish, too. Electrical wires, power strips, and electrical accessories. The things that make generators no longer useless. Many people think, once you have a generator, you're done. No, the generator is just a source. Whether the electricity reaches where you need it is another matter. In a storm, you don't have many choices. The outlet is in the right place. The wire is long enough. Yes, the right type of load-bearing wire. If the wire is too thin, too weak, what happens? The power is overloaded. The equipment is running intermittently, or worse, hot wires. Burning smell, dangerous. The thin straw is like a smoothie straw. The electricity needed for heaters and refrigerators is like shaved ice. You have to come. At Harbor Freight, the items that are worth the money during a storm are large-gauge electrical wire, but the thick, heavy-duty kind. The wire is 25 to 50 feet long. A simple hub. No need for it to be smart. Not beautiful, not cool, but extremely practical. A good electrical coil can help you. Place the generator further from your home, reducing the risk of emissions. Conduct electricity in the right places. Refrigerators, lights, heaters. Being flexible when the house layout isn't as planned. I see a lot of people investing thousands of dollars in generators. And then, they skimp on good cables, use thin wires, and then don't understand why their equipment runs weakly. If I had to say it in a nutshell, no matter how powerful a generator is, it's useless if the electricity doesn't reach where it's needed. Before buying the wire, I used to wonder, where will I put the generator? Which room needs electricity? Can the current wire handle that load? If you've never asked these questions, you're likely missing this tool without knowing it. And this is the point I want to emphasize when talking about Harbor Freight. They do a really good job with the accessories that people often overlook. Electrical wires, power strips, adapters, are not things to show off, but in a storm, they determine whether your belongings survive. Oh, if you find this content helpful, please subscribe to the channel not to support myself, but so that next time a storm comes, you'll remember to come back and watch the rest. And once you have electricity, the next question will naturally be, okay, so how do we light it? 3. Lamps and lighting. Many people make a very common mistake. They buy a very fancy lamp and think they're done. No, a fancy lamp can't save a dark house. The light in a storm isn't just for seeing, it's to keep your spirits up. Imagine this, 9 p.m. The power goes out, the whole family is silent, and there's only a faint corner of light. That feeling is very different from having a little light in each room, even if it's not strong. The smart and very practical approach is 1 to 2 good lamps, headlamp, or main lantern, 10 to 20 cheap lamps, for bedrooms, kitchen, toilet, stairs, garage. The lumen numbers are just for fun, but here's an easy way to convert them. 700 lumens, as bright as a bare light bulb, 2,000 lumens. Bright enough for an entire living room, 15 to 50 hours of runtime means. You don't have to turn it on and off to save every minute. Harbor Freight does this very well. The lamp is not complicated, doesn't have an app, doesn't use Bluetooth, just turn it on and it lights up. And I'm being honest, you don't need a $200 lamp to go from the couch to the toilet at midnight. Okay, there's light now, but a long storm brings another very real problem. 4. 5-gallon buckets and ammo cans. Cheap but the most durable items. This is a group of items that no one brags about, but anyone who has experienced a storm will nod in agreement. A 5-gallon bucket sounds very ordinary, but in a storm, it's a water bottle, it's a food container, it's a way to keep food cold outdoors. And yes, it's an emergency toilet. No water, no electricity, no toilet. That's when you'll realize how precious a bucket is. Ammo cans too, for batteries, radio, flashlight, small tools. It's airtight, compact, and stackable, not very good looking, but very trustworthy. Many people have used it and made this humorous observation. A 5-gallon bucket is like a doomsday suitcase. It doesn't look like much, but when you need it, it holds a whole life within. And when the storm passes and everything is devastated and chaotic, then you need the last thing in this group. 5. Post-storm cleanup tools, chainsaw, axe, shovel fallen trees, broken branches, and blocked paths. That's very common after a storm. Harbor Freight's cordless saw isn't a monster, but it has a huge advantage. Squeeze the trigger and it runs. No gas, no pull cord. It's enough to prune branches, clear the path, handling traffic jams caused by fallen trees. But let me be clear, don't expect an $85 saw to do the work of an $800 saw. It wasn't born to cut down forests. It was born to solve immediate problems quickly and safely. Add an axe and a shovel, and you'll be equipped for most practical situations. And at this point, you'll realize a commonality among this worthwhile group. None of the dishes are cool. Nothing is worth showing off on Instagram, but they all do one thing right, at the exact moment you need it most. If you find this kind of sharing helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. In the next part, I will talk about items that look very cool, very survival-oriented, very marketing-driven. But whether they are actually good remains to be seen. After talking about some truly worthwhile items, I want to be clear for fairness. Harbor Freight is not a bad place, but not everything that looks like a storm will be good to buy and bring home. And this is the group of items that many people buy with the feeling, now that I'm prepared, I can relax. Until it's really needed. 1. New power station. Beautiful specs. Feels very off-grid. In recent years, Power stations have been a very easy item to sell. Pin 2. Multiple charging ports, and the printing specifications are printed all over the box. Just looking at it makes you feel reassured right away. The problem isn't that it's bad. The problem is, this isn't Harbor Freight's strongest suit. The power station market is now fiercely competitive. Many companies are trying to stay in this segment, optimizing battery, circuits, and thermal management, bit by bit. What about Harbor Freight? They do a lot of things, and the power station is just one of many. So the reality is, often, the specs are fine. It's okay to use it lightly, but to place your trust in a long-lasting storm, it's a bit nerve-wracking. To put it in an easy-to-understand way, it's like a car that looks brand new and shiny, but you're not sure you want to drive it through the night in heavy rain. If you buy it to charge your phone, run a few light devices, or use it as a backup option, okay, no problem. But if you buy it thinking, with this, I won't have to worry about electricity during a storm, well, I'll be honest, that's when marketing starts to take you a bit too far from reality. I'm not criticizing here. It's just that there are things you shouldn't buy based on emotion that seem ready for disaster. 2. Knife tactical. Rambo style. Looks very fierce. Works very gently. This can be said quickly. Tactical knife. Rambo style. Look up and you'll see. A sheath, big tongue, rugged handle. The name sounds very survival-oriented, but the very real truth is, most of these knives weren't made for heavy-duty work, not full-tang, weak construction. A few strong uses, and it will loosen the handle, chip the blade, or worse, it breaks. And I'll be blunt, a beautiful knife is good for display. If you want to survive the storm, don't gamble. In a storm, you need a knife to cut rope, split small wood, and perform repetitive tasks, not to pose. The phrase I often say to my friends is very simple. If it looks like a movie prop, it will perform like a movie. You can watch it for fun, but don't treat it as the main tool when everything around is already chaotic enough. 3. Save batteries for everything. Saving in the wrong places is just making things difficult for yourself. Cheap pins aren't always bad. The problem is what to use cheap batteries for. Harbor Freight's cheap batteries are for remotes, auxiliary light. The things aren't important. It's perfectly fine. But if you use that battery for emergency radio, main light, safety equipment, then you're saving in the wrong places. A weak battery doesn't fail immediately. It's weakening gradually, and when you need it most. It's only dim enough, only crackly enough, and then it goes out. A good battery is like a full gas tank. The battery is like the tank is down to 1 bar. They are both gasoline. But which one do you want when you're running in the middle of a rainy night? So, the key takeaway is very practical. Cheap batteries aren't bad. It's using them in the wrong place that's bad. But batteries aren't the most hyped thing yet. There's something even more likely to irritate customers if they buy without thinking, especially before a storm hits. Those are the items that have the word smart added to them. And in a storm, the smartest thing is sometimes the dumbest. 4. Smart devices, apps, connectivity for storm situations. Sounds very modern, but can easily frustrate you. In recent years, anything with the word smart sells well. Smart light, smart plug, smart camera, smart sensor. Look up at the box, and you'll see the future right away. But to be honest, storms are not the right environment for that kind of smart device. The problem isn't with the quality, the problem lies in the conditions for it to work. Most of these smart devices require at least one of 3 things: the internet, Wi-Fi, or the app on your phone. And storms often take all 3 of those things at once. Smart gear is like electric cars. It's great when the infrastructure is complete. A storm is like a dirt road. Power outages, no charging stations. At that time, what you needed wasn't a beautiful app, push notification, show the chart on the screen, but rather, turn it on and it runs, plug it in and it has power, open and there is light. While the lamp needs an app. If you lose Wi-Fi, it's as good as broken. A camera needs a network, and if the network is lost, it becomes a decoration. What about smart outlets? If the app won't open, then I give up. Meanwhile, some things aren't smart. like light switches, battery-powered doorbells, and knob-operated radios. It's those items that work best in a storm again. I'm not saying smart devices are useless. Just don't buy it with the expectation that it will save you in a crisis. Marketing often uses a trick. This is more modern, so it must be safer. But in reality, it's the opposite. In a storm, the fewer things that depend on external systems, the fewer things that can disappoint you. I often ask myself a very practical question before buying these items. If there's a power outage, no internet, and my phone battery is low, what else can this thing do? If the answer is nothing left, then it's not storm damage. It's a convenience for every day. And that's precisely what makes smart app-connected products so susceptible to marketing manipulation. They sound modern and look reassuring, but the operating conditions are the most fragile. What do you think? Have you ever bought a smart device that you only realized was stupid when the power went out? If you find that this content here accurately reflects your past experiences, then subscribe to the channel, not to support myself, but so I don't buy the things that sound good but are annoying to use next time. After the dishes mentioned above, what do you think is the common characteristic of the group that is easily led by marketing? They are not useless. They were only promised more than their actual capabilities. And storms don't care about promises. The storm only asked one very simple question. Can you run? So, before I end the video, I want to quickly talk about how to shop smart at Harbor Freight so you don't hate this store or get tricked by it. Speaking of this, I want to clarify something for fairness. Harbor Freight isn't bad, but it's very easy to buy the wrong thing at Harbor Freight. It's not because the goods are bad, but because of the way they sell them, making you think you're preparing carefully, when in reality it's just buying a lot. So, if I had to summarize smart shopping here, I'd say it straight. Don't buy based on feelings. Buy it with a real storm scenario. Step 1. Send an email. Don't be a hero and pay full price. Harbor Freight has a very clear habit, sending coupons constantly, every day. It happens every week. It's not uncommon. So, if you walk into a store, see something, and think, this price is probably it, you're usually overpaying. I'm putting it this way so you understand. Paying full price at Harbor Freight is like going to the market without asking the price. You don't always get chopped, but the probability is significantly higher. There are items that can be purchased with coupons. They are 20 to 30% cheaper. Sometimes it's even almost half the price. I'm not saying I have to sit and watch the sale like a stock trader, but at least send the email so that when you need to buy, you know, oh, should I buy this today or wait a few more days? Think about it. Would you rather spend that money on another can of gas or have it sit on a bill because you're missing a coupon? Step 2. Buy backups. Don't buy trust. This is where a lot of people fail. Harbor Freight is strongest when you use it as a backup. It's not a lifetime savior. A very down-to-earth example. You have a good drill, then buy a cheap one as a backup. You have good knives, then buy cheap knives to throw away. You have the main lights arrow, buy a few more auxiliary lights to spread around the house. This method is both economical and practical. What are the common mistakes? Buy something cheap, then put all your faith in it. In a storm. That's a frustrating formula. I often ask myself a very simple question before buying. If this item breaks, do I have any other options? If the answer is no, then I'll reconsider. Either buy a better type, or buy two, or switch to something else. Harbor Freight really embodies the "if this breaks, there's always another one" mentality. Not in line with my thinking. I hope it doesn't break. Step 3. Test your belongings before the storm arrives. Extremely important. This is the step that many people are the laziest about. And it's also the most costly step. Buy it and then put it in the closet. Wait until the storm comes before you take it out to use. And then, the engine wouldn't start. The light isn't on. The battery is dead. The wire is missing. At that point, you're no longer experiencing shopping. You're experiencing real stress. So, I always advise this. Generators. Test them out. Lights. Turn them on and check the batteries. Sawing. Try cutting a branch. And for the power station, you should try plugging in the devices you intend to use. What if it breaks during testing? A little annoying, but cheap. What if it breaks during a storm? Very annoying and very expensive. There's a saying that a friend of mine, who's a craftsman, told me, and I think everyone should remember it. Broken things are cheap during testing. Damaged goods during a storm are very expensive. Now, try asking yourself, which of the storm-resistant items you have at home have you never tried before? Finally, remember, Harbor Freight doesn't sell readiness. They sell tools. What do smart Harbor Freight shoppers have in common? Through continuous observation, I realized they didn't buy out of fear. They didn't buy because of advertising, and they didn't buy because it looked like the right thing to do. They buy because they know where, when, and in what situations they will use it. Harbor Freight doesn't prepare you for a hurricane. You're the one who does that by buying the right things, the right roles. If you come here and find that what I say resonates with your experiences, then be honest. Subscribe to the channel, not to support myself, but so that next time you'll be prepared for the storm and won't have to learn again with money and get upset. And before I finish, I want to summarize this entire story into a very concise message so you'll remember it for a long time and can use it right away. Here we are. And if I had to sum up this entire story in a single idea, I'd say this. Harbor Freight isn't bad, but marketing won't save you in a storm. There are some items there that are truly worth the money. Because they do one very simple thing, right? They run when you need them to. There are also items that sound great, very disaster-ready. But when everything goes down, you realize you bought a sense of security, not a solution. Preparing for a storm isn't about buying a lot. Preparation means knowing exactly what you are buying to address which situation. Now I want to hear from you, not from an advertisement. Have you ever bought something from Harbor Freight that really saved you during a storm? Or, on the other hand, bought something and just sighed? Why did I buy this at the time? Comment below. The name of that item, and in what situation do you use it? And does it work? Who knows? Your experience might help someone else avoid an expensive and frustrating decision. If you see this kind of talk, no frills, no threats, I'm not selling anything to you. I'm just sharing so you can prepare more intelligently. So please subscribe to the channel, not to support myself, and so that next time a storm comes, you'll remember to come back and continue watching what to buy, and what not to buy, and how to avoid wasting your money. Finally, to be clear, this video is not sponsored, not representing Harbor Freight. I'm not recommending whether or not you should buy any specific item. This is just personal experience, real-world observation, and everyone's circumstances are different. Big house or small house, in the city or the countryside, blizzards, windstorms, or short-term power outages. So, please use this content as a perspective, not a command. Being well-prepared won't make you panic. Being well-prepared gives you choices when things are no longer easy. See you in the next video. Stay safe and prepare wisely.